Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, Ba'Shem HaKakodash. I want to give double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who will. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect. It's your brother Shamarni here, here again today. And I just want to go into another lesson. Topic being basically the love of many shall wax cold. Because, so us being here in the last days, things are getting worse and worse. Living in this corrupted kingdom, people coming against people, family turning on family. No one has regard for anyone anymore. And, it's going to get worse as Jacob's trouble starts to amplify, and the little bit of love Jake had for each other over the years is decreasing, for a while now. And as, this kingdom continues to fall, the people here, that they're losing it. First off, because the people, they're not under the protection of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, but they're under Egypt. They're under that shadow of Egypt. So the first precept I'm gonna bring out is Matthew 24. This is Matthew 24 and 12, and it reads, "And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold." And meaning that, all the wickedness, the iniquity, the lawlessness that is happening right now, it's abounding. Because again, the government is created off of wickedness, and that is abounding. So the love of many is going to wax cold. And again, as I stated before, it's going to get worse and worse. It's not about to be all morals and whatnot, because again, the people will not regard one another at all. The people, as again, Jacob's trouble continues to amplify, people will starting to have that, that survival of the fittest mindset here. It's here in Babylon the Great, which is America. So and you see, because when things also start to be taken away from people that live in comfort, things like their jobs, food, resources start to become scarce. Cash will begin to be null and void. Once that happens, a lot of your so-called friends will turn on you in that day, because everything that, again, I just mentioned will cause a lot of division among the people. You see. Let's see if I can go. So I want to look up that word. Wax cold. So wax cold says, seems like it says cycle. I'm just put it out.
Strong's G 5594. Psucho.
And the third definition, and this is what I want, it means when going into waxing cold, it means waning love. You see, I'm gonna see if they got anything else in the Strong's definition. Yeah, they don't really have anything, but meaning waning in love, meaning love isn't going to be increasing, it's going to be decreasing. Because again, the scripture says, there's a time for love and a time for hate. And by seeing the state of this place, America, as the days go on, it's clear what time we're in right now. You see, everybody has an evil eye towards each other, which scriptures also talk about that. And again, as time go on, it's only going to get worse and worse. Next precept I'm going to bring out is Matthew 10. and jump all the way down to 34. This is Matthew 10 and 34, and it reads, Think not that I have come to send peace on earth. I came not to send peace, but a sword. For I am come to set a man at variance against his father, and the daughter against her mother, and the daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. Verse 36, a man's foes shall be they of his own household, meaning that this is even showing you that your so-called family is going to be against you as well when those times hit. You see, everybody's going to be all for themselves, and this is the times that we're approaching. You see, because even in Second Esdras, this speaks on this. So like, yeah, Second Esdras 15. Start at 14. This is Second Esdras 15, starting at verse 14, and it reads, Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and the destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. Meaning that, you see, it mentions the sword again, but the difference is the sword that was mentioned in Matthew, that was speaking of, division. But the sword that is spoken of here is the physical sword, and then on top of that, to add, the modern day sword is the gun. You see, verse 16: For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. And that's basically going into how there's going to be an all-out war, and how the people won't even care for the government or law enforcement during that day of Jacob's trouble. And Scripture it tells you that it's going to be a time like no other. You see. Next precept I'm going to bring out is Jeremiah 30. Jeremiah 30 and verse 7, and it reads, At last, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. You see, again, it mentions you that it's going to be a time like no other, showing you how chaotic it's going to be during that time. Going back to Second Esdras, just reread it again. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. And again, this is going into how bad it's going to be. No one is going to consider. It's going to be so much unlawfulness out here because of how desperate people will be. So that hospitality spirit will be dead, as it's already dead as it is now. But it's going to get worse. You see, and people will starting to have go into that animalistic nature. Continuing on, last precept is at 19, and the reason a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. Well, that the 15-minute cities, martial law that's going to crack down. They're going to have blocking points. For because of their pride, and the cities shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. And that's coming to pass. The toughest niggas on the block when Jacob's trouble hit, they're gonna be cowering in the corner, bro. They're not gonna understand what to do during them times, because again, that's during Jacob's trouble. That's gonna be a very chaotic time here in Babylon the Great. Next precept, final last precept, and it reads, "And a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods, because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation." And this is going into, as we read, a lot of people will have, when I consider of how the next person is moving, and a lot of simple Jake is going to see how evil the time is we live in, you know. When Jacob's trouble pops off, amplified, a lot of people that's calling your friend, they're going to turn on you quick, especially when there's a famine and their stomach is touching they back. People are going to be desperate during that time, you know. But us brothers and the future sisters in the truth, we're covered by Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, and we got to be grateful for that, you know. So with that, I want to give all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, B'Shem Kakodash. I want to give double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who were well. I hope this lesson was edifying. Shalom.